And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking WRC hybrid update. Are they going to get rid of hybrid? What do the other teams think of? We've literally just done a video about the British Touring Car Championship getting rid of hybrid and why I think pretty much it is mostly a good thing. But what do the teams think about getting rid of hybrid in the WRC? So inspired by this Dirtfish article, they've pretty much come out on Halloween, by all means, and I'm talking about where the teams stand on hybrid in the WRC. Where do we stand? Get rid of it. It's not worth it. Especially when you looked, like a few rallies ago now, in Martin Sesks, the first WRC event he went to, and he was, in one of the stages, he was like in second or third. And that was without hybrid. You don't need it. It makes the car heavy. It makes the car sluggish. It's not good. BTCC is going with, sustainable fuels. Do you hear that, the FIA? Do you hear that, the World Rally Championship bosses and teams? Please do hear that, because I think it's going to affect the future of rally and now. Not next, not in 2026, in 2027. Tomorrow, it's almost like tomorrow never comes. Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today and get rid of it. I mean, you've got one event left in Japan. That should be the au revoir of hybrid. So, Dirtfish have come out and said the future of hybrid in the World Rally Championship means it is a question mark. And it should be. While no decision has been reached, they say, Dirtfish understands the matter of retaining the hybrid power was discussed by the WRC Commissioner earlier this month. Teams are no longer allowed carte blanche to reset those very expensive hybrid power units, instead being told they've got to be sent back to Compact Dynamics for repairs. And they could cost as much as €50,000. That's more than a lot of people currently viewing this make in a year. What? I mean, what? Opinions are split on whether ditching hybrid is the best. No, is it really? If it does happen, the change would be signed off at the next Motorsport Council meeting on December the 11th. It should, yes. Well, you know what you need to do, World Motorsport Council. But where do the manufacturers stand? So, let's talk about Hyundai. They've got of the three manufacturers currently present, because there's a massive question mark over whether Hyundai will be present in the WRC going forwards. But they said Hyundai has the strongest slant towards the electrification of its performance brands. Boring. It recently, it recently discontinued production of its i20N and i30N road car models, leaving the Elantra N outside of Europe as its only combustible powered performance vehicle. The Ioniq 5N flagship is all electric. I mean, we don't here in the UK, and I'd like to think for most of Europe, but you can comment below and let me know. Most of the world does not have the infrastructure currently for electric vehicles. Also, the power grid. If tomorrow everyone had electric vehicles, everyone was parking them and putting them on charge, I think we're going to have a massive problem. The idea is nice, but the idea of a lot of things is nice, and it's never going to work. So the idea is lovely. I don't think it's going to work. So despite its positioning in the road market, Motorsport Director Cyril Abittal indicated that hybrid isn't a prerequisite for Hyundai stay in WRC. Well, it kind of was a bit earlier when you had the chance, all the teams had the chance to get rid of hybrid earlier in the year, and they were like, no, we can't. And now they're doing a U-turn and look really, really silly. We don't have a preference apart from the fact that we need to have a pragmatic view about the situation. We always believe in the electrification of motorsport, more like the execution of motorsport, but there we go. And the electrification of WRC. Yes, execution of WRC. But we don't have a preference. But equally, we need to watch out for the situation in which we are, which is a complex situation. He said hybrid units are supplied to teams through a single supply. I mean, what? But why? What? So hybrid units supplied to teams by a single supplier, but you're Hyundai, but you have the same hybrids as other teams. Is that what we're saying? There was controversy in the World Rallycross Championship this year when a battery aboard a Special One Racing Lancia Delta caught fire during the Series UK round while its electric battery was charging. Yeah, I mean, when it happens to phones and it makes lots of headlines, don't charge your phone near your face when you go to bed. You're dealing with a lot more power and a much bigger battery when it comes to the cars. Chrysler is the manufacturer of the full powertrain in the World Rally WRX, basically. And the hybrid system, Compact Dynamics supplies to the teams via the FIA tender. He said, we all know the event associated to the technology in a rallycross and the side impact that it had in the sport. We also equally know that some teams are struggling more than others in relation to the availability of units. Yes, they are. Hyundai's program manager backed up by Bittle's comments, pointing out that his team would go with what's in the interest of the sport, which is not hybrid. It's not hybrid. Did you hear that? Let's talk about Toyota then. So, in the road car market, Toyota was the first manufacturer, it says, to make hybrid mass market with its Prius model. Across the duration of Rally 1 regulation cycle, it has generally taken a pro-hybrid stance, though its position appears to have softened. Why? Because people aren't buying them, because they're too expensive. As was the case with, obviously, the Hyundai people, ensuring strong participation numbers is a priority. Well, we don't at the moment, do we? We've only got 2.5 teams, with Toyota, Hyundai, and M Sport, with really not the funding of a manufacturer. Hello, Ford. We need to have a sustainable championship, said Lavalette. Well, you don't at the moment, especially with rumours of Hyundai leaving. He said that is important, and we know that we don't want to be fighting with issues with the hybrid system. At the end of the day, we don't mind which way we go, but we want to follow what is best for other teams, which is no hybrid. Sing it with me, no hybrid. Do you get? I mean, I don't understand. It's so obvious. I'm so happy that the BTCC have done it. Why can't these people see? It's like they can't see the wood for the trees. I've probably got that saying wrong. M Sport is trapped between a rock and a hard place when it comes to hybrid, it says. In the lead up to the introduction of the Rally 1 cars, its position was emphatic. Team principal Richard Milner confirmed that Ford would only continue involvement if hybrid was introduced in the 22 regulations. I love a bit of blackmail, don't you? I mean, yeah, we're only going to continue if you have hybrid. Fast forward to today, the Chess Peters are in a vastly different positions. But 2022 is 2024. It wasn't even that long ago. Why? It's so obvious. Of all the manufacturers, M Sport has the smallest budget, sadly, and therefore is hit hardest by the increase of the repair costs. Its business model, it says, is also most dependent on successfully selling and renting out Rally 1 cars to its customers, making affordability of purchasing and running Rally 1 cars a high priority. Well, yeah, with the hybrid, forget about it. Meanwhile, Ford's commitment to Rally Raid has stepped up with a works programme for the Dakar, run by M Sport, and reigning champion Carlos Sainz leading its 4-car lineup. News on its investment into M Sport's WRC programme and in what quantity still yet to be confirmed. More investment needed, Ford, please. M Sport has the most to gain or lose from the future of the hybrid systems, Dirtfish said. And it's no surprise that of the three teams, it's holding its cards closest to its chest. And they've said Milner is often chatty on most subjects, but recently there have been two topics. And that's Adrian Formeau, because we all think he's going to go to Hyundai at the moment. And a few moments later, obviously hybrid, yes or no, same answer to the Formeau question. He's obviously not talking about it. So that's really interesting about what the other teams think. We think don't do hybrid. I'm sure if you're watching this, Chris, I'd like to think, unless you've done a complete 180, I know you're not a politician, so you wouldn't have done. No hybrid. Get hybrid out. Make rally great again. And that does not include hybrid. One of the best things, I think, was one of the Top Gear guys. It wasn't Clarkson. It was Richard Hammond, wasn't it? And he was talking about electric cars. I'm not going to be able to get the exact quote up, but he said, in relation to electric cars and hybrid, he said he doesn't understand why we can't have bio and synthetic fuels. Because he said, basically, we've already got the infrastructure. You don't need to put in your chargers. You don't need to do that. But, to stop and sit down at a stop while your car recharges. And what you're going to do with the battery when it runs out. And they cost so much money. No, we've got the infrastructure already. They're called petrol stations for synthetic fuels, biofuels, e-fuels, or whatever. That, surely, is currently the future. Not electric, not really hybrid, is synthetic fuels for sports. We want to hear an engine. I mean, let's be honest. How many of you? They are amazing. That you've got instant power to these electric cars. You know, I mean, the air around them sounds more aggressive than the actual cars themselves. So, anyway, I'm about to have a coughing fit. So, I'm going to say, please subscribe. It will make me happy. And we'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.